This is Chuck Huber, the voice of Android 17. You're listening to Anime Seekers. You better be, or I'm coming for you. Dragon of the Darkness, Flame!
Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey guys, I'm Hunter Dino. I'm your Pink Dino Fury Power Ranger and your Red Cosmic Fury Power Ranger, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast.
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin time! Link to the Morphin. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Spoken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Ridwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
Hello, everybody. This is the Toku Secrets podcast presented by animesecrets.org. And today we got the whole crew on again. We are once again returning to the current Sentai that is airing in Japan at the time, Bakuage Sentai Boonboomger. We're taking a look at Bakuage's 5 through 10. We took a look at 2 through 4 last time. So now, before we get started here, there was a fun fact that I discovered in between podcasts. I probably should have pointed this out when we did the first episode, but I mean, here we are. So as I've kind of established, these days, every modern Sentai likes to have a big name actress or someone who's really big to like kind of, bring in some of the older audiences. Well, in the case of Boonboomger's big actor, the woman who voices Boon, Boonderas, the robotic character, his voice actress is Matsumoto Rika. She is a very huge voice actress. This is actually not her first time on Sentai. She voiced a bunch of monsters of the day in Turbo Ranger, Jetman, Zyuranger, and Go-Onger. I don't know who she voiced in Zyuranger, but in Jetman she voiced that monster that was made from Akko's teddy bear, among all that other assorted garbage. We looked at that episode. She had a recurring role in Akiba Ranger. She actually voiced a similar character to Boon Boon in a 5-man Arthur G6, and she sung the main theme song of Kamen Rider Ryuki. But the big thing that she is best known for is that she voiced Satoshi in the Pokemon anime. That is Ash's counterpart in
I knew Pokemon. That voice sounded familiar to me.
Yep.
It was bothering me for like weeks. That's where it is. Okay.
Yeah. And she also voiced Ryo Bakura in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. So, yeah, she's quite a big actress. So, I just wanted to get that fun fact out of the way. Kind of sucks that I didn't mention that in the first episode, but better late than never. Okay, so brief recap of what happened in the last couple of episodes. So Boon Boom was revealed to be an alien that crashed to Earth, and he was befriended by Taya. They worked together to create the Boonboomgers to achieve their dream. We don't know what it is yet. We saw that Ishiro joined Taya, prior to the series in a flashback. The Hashirians are revealed to be aliens that are part of the space mafia. They've come to Earth to expand their territory. And in the last episode, the Boonboomgers were approached by the ISA, International Space Agency. The agent Saibu Shirabe. She demanded control of the Boonboomgers so that the government could battle the Hashirians, but she conceded to allow the Boonboomgers to do things their way. She appoints a consultant to join them, that being this local bumbling police officer that we saw in the first couple of episodes, Joe Akuse. And that brings us to Bakuage 5, which is where we're going to start the review segment. The police will not falter. So the episode literally kicks off with Joe asking to become a Boonboomger because, he wants to be a lot more than just a consultant for the ISA because he's idolized heroes his whole life. But Taya says that he can't be a Boonboomger as he is now. Like, he flat out rejects them. But then during the ensuing Hashirian attack, the monster overpowers all three Boonboomgers, but they're determined to still go on. And Joe goes against the monster and refuses to give up, even if he isn't a Boonboomger. And that's when Taya decides, okay, you're worthy. And he gives him a Boom Boom Change Axe. This is provided to him from Ginba. And this allows Joe to become the fourth Boonboomger, Boon Black. He defeats the monster single-handedly. He gets his own mechs, the Boon Boom patrol cars, these two police-like cars that can transform, that can combine as auxiliary mechs with Boonboomger Robo to form Boonboomger Robo Police, giving it like double guns. And the episode ends with everyone celebrating Joe joining the team. All right, so what do we think about Bakuage 5, guys? Anyone want to go first? Because I just spoke for quite a bit.
It was a very kind of, I don't want to use this term somber, but there was like an emotional tone to this episode that I really, really liked. Because Joe here was really trying to prove himself hard, and he didn't know how. And then when he stopped trying to prove himself and just acted, I like it. It's a very simple premise, but it's a strong premise. And it made Joe one of my favorite members of this cast so far, just this episode alone.
Yeah, I think it's probably bolstered mainly because, they established Joe in the first episode, and we've had 4 episodes establishing him as a character. Now, some episodes have done that a little bit better than others, but at the very least, he was already an established character, so it doesn't feel so rushed as you would think it is.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I gotta echo Patrick here because, man, this episode really did have that emotion laid on thick with Taya just denying Joe outright. I mean, that was not something I thought he would do, given how he accepted Mira the episode before, or a couple episodes before. So, that was kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say. I mean, it's just.
I think the reason why.
Go ahead.
Oh no, what I was gonna say was that I feel like, the reason why Taya was like, "No, I'm not gonna have you try to join the Boomers this early," is because he felt like he didn't really earn it quite yet. Whereas Mira, she kind of was just like, it kind of like felt natural to her because she wanted to do her own thing and not be tied down to anybody's, whether it be marriage or just whatever. She wants to be in the driver's seat, and she took it, and then she got it. Whereas Joe, he kind of just wants to be it without even really understanding oh well, you want to be it, but it's like, what do you bring to the table? It's like one of those things.
Well, that's kind of what I was
why should I get you to be part of our team?
And that's going to become very important in a later episode, I think, indirectly.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, this might be a hot take, but I don't like when they have the primary 5 all have different hints and devices. It just aesthetically is not pleasing to see it's a little different seeing his, and then later when we get Orin's, they're different, they have different mechanisms. That's normally something you'd reserve for a 6th Ranger appearance, not for members of the core team, unless we're not counting them core team. I don't know.
It's kind of like in Go-Onger where
I was about to say.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, where red, blue, and yellow have the cell phone morphers, and then black and green are definitely not 6th Rangers. They're considered part of the main 5, but they have different devices where they have the wrist mounted morphers.
What team is this?
Go-Onger.
Oh, okay. So there is a precedent for this before.
Yeah. There's there's a lot of like odd similarities between
Though I
this
am
season
kind
and Go-Onger. Like the more we dig into it.
Yeah,
yeah, that is true.
which is not a bad thing, to be honest. I mean, from what I've heard and what little I've seen.
So I'm curious, is like, are there other Sentais that you have either watched or have heard of that does that also bother you too, that the morphs are different?
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Dino Thunder Ranger was a little bit of an annoyance for me with Black, but I was more willing to accept that because he wasn't considered in Dino Thunder a core member. Like
Right,
it was
yeah,
very well established that the three primary were the three primary, and Black and White were kind of like,
yeah,
you know, extra. So in that case, it didn't bug me as much, but it was
yeah,
still kind of like, okay, why did they get the special treatment? You know?
But I mean, in
yeah.
Ranger's case, the morphers all kind of looked unique.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's
Like,
an
they all had
instance if it's an instance like the Go Riders or the Thunder Rangers from Hurricanes or Ninja Storm, where they're a different team, or like
That would be
Geki,
acceptable
Geki
because that makes sense.
So did Geki Violet bother you?
Everything in Geki Ranger bothered me, but yes.
Okay. Did RJ's different morpher bother you in Jungle Fury?
No, because that made sense because he was a mentor and he was doing this as like a special ranger.
Okay.
You see, it's like it's all about the intent of the character behind it. To me, does that make sense? Am I crazy?
No, I guess
I think it makes sense.
I mean, it's not like it's not something that would like make me go say, "Oh, screw Boonboomger, I hate this thing." It's just a minor nitpick I'm bringing up, you know, just because it was kind of a weird thing to notice in the first episode that he premiered. And then also, he has that interesting shoulder pad, which I'm not against. I just thought it was interesting that he has an extra piece on him that no one else had.
You know, it is kind of, because I mean that is something else I've noticed is that just like with the core 3 Go-Ongers, green and black don't have the tire motif on their boots and gloves like red, blue, and yellow do. They have like that goldish like gear thing in the place of the wheels. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's like Boon Black and Boon Orange will get to him, and Go on Green and Go on Black are kind of like a second tier or something. I don't know, but like
right. So like, is the implication here that Black and Orange are stronger than the primary three, or are they?
I'm not sure.
"Quote unquote" the same power level. You know, like that's kind of the question I'm asking, and the reason I'm kind of wondering right now. You know, different morpher, instant device, whatever.
But
different
I'm pretty
type of armor.
Yeah, but I still think they would be considered. That's what makes it weird. They would still be considered part of the main 5, though. Like
oh yeah,
or, like in the same way. Like, okay, if this Sentai came out before Gokaiger and the Gokaigers have the Boonboomger Ranger keys, then they probably would have already started off having black and orange, and like, you know, Dawn transforms into black, and okay, I'm guessing Luca transforms into orange by that logic. But
yeah. And then later on, when Guy gets his Guy appears, he'll get purple whenever that drops.
Yeah.
I think they said it's purple, right? For the 6 down the line, according to the leak.
I haven't heard anything about the 6 yet, but
yeah, I heard something about purple, which I thought was
other than it's violet. That's it. All I know is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping. Well, we'll get to that when we get to it, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do we want to get 5 out of 10, guys?
9.
I'm gonna go with a 9.
But one thing I'm kind of curious about. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, what I was gonna say was that I'm curious about how, like, it's really odd because Ryu Soldier, which I've seen in its entirety, by the way, they established that the main well, it's gonna be 5 rangers altogether, but it's the main 3 that we see first, which is, you know, blue, red, and pink, and the other 2 join later on, and they all have the same morpher. It's not like they're special or different in any kind of way. So it's like, what's, you know, why even establish that these 5 are together all automatically? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just an
Well,
oddity.
I think
Must be a
okay. So I
Car-sen
haven't watched.
Sentai thing.
So I haven't watched Real Soldier, Anthony, but I do know from reading on online about it that
Mhm.
black and green are supposed to be a different tribe or something.
Yeah, they are.
So that makes sense to me that they would be premiered differently. And that's fine. I mean, I don't mind if they don't all come at the same time. Actually, I prefer that. I don't want all 5 Rangers to come on
Yeah.
episode 1. I'd rather get like 1 or 2 and then let them go hunting for their other teammates or let them appear more organically. I think it's been a while, but I think Kyo Ryuzer did that.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think they had
fun
all 5
fact,
in the beginning.
their first 2 appearances actually showed up in Psycho Battle.
Oh, that's cool.
And what?
Yeah, Psycho Battle.
Is
I don't know
that
what
like
that
a
is.
special movie or something, Anthony?
Is that the Battle Royale?
That's about real. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, I like the Battle Royale movie. That was pretty fun.
But Anthony, the other guys,
Yeah.
we gave this episode at 9. What do you want to give it?
I'll give it a 9 too.
Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to Bakuage 6. It's called White and Black. This is mostly a filler episode. It's all about Ishiro stalking Joe because he suspects that Joe might not be who he seems to be. The most important thing that happens in this episode, though, is that a meteorite crashes to Earth, and it's revealed to be the captain of the Hashirians, Mad Rex, who develops kind of a rivalry with Taya in this episode. He fights Taya one-on-one, so the other 3 Boonboomgers have to take on the monster alone. He does retreat from the battle, but not before getting Taya's name. And Gimba is also showing some interest in the fight, but we'll get to that in the next episode. What do we think about White and Black, guys? Bakuage 6.
Honestly, that was a lot of fun watching Ishiru just go crazy trying to figure out Zoe's intention and everything. It was a good filler episode, in my opinion. If we're going to call it filler.
There's no reason he's as good of a person is actually that good of a person. What the Yeah, it was a silly episode.
I just go ahead, Patrick.
I was saying this was a silly episode, but one thing I wanted to carry over from a point I didn't bring up from the last episode, man, the fight choreography in this season is so good. Because I didn't mention this when we talked about the last episode, but the fight in the factory when after Boon Black made his first appearance, man, that fight scene was so well shot, and this fight between Mad Rex and Boon Red was really like the camera work, the special effects look a lot more clean and natural. The use of slow-mo has been really good too. Just I don't know where they got the budget for, but their choreography and special effects and fight scenes has improved immensely. I'd say it looks better than
from like last season or the season.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks better than King Oger in some instances.
I mean, I had a little mini rant the other day with some people I was talking to about the King Oger CGI, and that's a fairly interesting budget. I don't know if it's more or less, to be honest, but it clearly is showing that the Reiwa era is doing something to try and bring better quality across the table.
Mm-hmm.
Because this choreography is amazing. The stories have been great. I mean, Nathan called this a filler. I mean, it's kind of a filler in that nothing in this episode is important, but it's also not there meant to waste our time. It's meant to give us more of a deep dive into Ishiro and kind of Zoe's psyche a little bit more, which I think we needed at this point.
And it sets up Orange's debut in the next episode with like a very subtle like nod of the head.
Precisely. And when we were talking about reviewing this season in the beginning, I'll be honest with you guys, I was a little concerned that this season would be a bit of a chore to get through, but I mean, these guys are hitting it at the park with the storylines, the writing, the choreography. It's been pretty awesome so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
What I really like about this episode also, it's cool to be able to see the other people be able to hold their own against a monster without Taya. Because I don't know, like I know they're not trying to go quite the Gary Stu route with Taya, but it's not as forced as like somebody like King from Kyoryuger or Takaharu from Ninja, but it's still nice to like be able to see the other Rangers be able to hold their own without Taya, who's kind of the glue that holds them together.
It's also nice to see that they can work together independently of him in a non-combat zone as well.
Yeah.
Like, they don't need him to come up with a plan and a tactic. They can just go off and default to whoever's there to help lead the team. In this case, we got Itsuhiro doing more of that work than anyone else, which
That's
is
true.
really cool. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. This episode is really good at firmly establishing Itsuhiro's character as being more than that stoic, brooding type of personality who's just kind of there in the background. Like,
Yeah.
he has a personality and he has leadership skills, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty to be a leader if he has to be. And we're going to talk about that a lot more later on.
And that was actually my biggest concern after the first episode when it came to Ishiro. Was one of the things that bothered me about the era from after Kyoryuger, because I did watch the first what was it, like the first 5 episodes of Ninja before I dipped while it was airing, and I hated Ao Ninja because he was that stereotypical, like, you know, overly serious, gives everybody a snarl, you know, I'm better than you, I hate Red, I'm gonna be better than him type of character. And I hate
What season is this?
Ninja Blue. I was talking about him.
You watched Ninja?
No, I watched the first 5 episodes when it was airing, and then I dipped after that. So I am sort of familiar with the characters a little bit.
I did not know you did that. I'm so sorry for your loss.
His first impressions were not good, and I hated that guy because I don't like that stereotypical, like, rival to the Red Ranger type of character. And I was afraid that Boom Blue was going to turn into one of those characters, and thank God he's not. Because he's not necessarily harsh, he's just, I guess, Taya's like just confident right-hand man more than anything else. And
yeah,
I appreciate
he loves
that.
Taya. He loves the Red more than anybody else.
Yeah, and I appreciate that dynamic because the vibes he gave off are completely different than what he actually is.
Yeah.
Also, I want to give a shout out to this episode of all the like every, you know, like wackier and like, you know, lighthearted Sentai, like the Go-Ongers and the Car Rangers. They all have, like, you know, some monsters with really ridiculous but funny gimmicks. This is probably the most whack of this monster in this episode. This is probably the most wackiest monster I've ever seen. It's a toilet monster that splashes people with water to make their
this monster would not feel out of place in this monster would not feel out of place in Car Ranger.
Yeah, nor in Go-On either.
I do want to also add that I've seen, so before I watched episode 6 when it was coming out, because unlike what we did with King Odra, I'm watching this week by week. So I saw Twitter erupting when this episode aired before I could get my hands on it. And people were honestly getting very upset that we had a toilet monster. And I'm just looking at them like,
really?
Are you guys serious? I mean, do you realize it's a parody type of Sentai? And they're going to lean heavily into the comedy? I mean, this is perfect, like, you know, Monster of the Week type of design here. I mean, and honestly, he wasn't even like a stereotypical monster. He was actually kind of interesting in how he uses powers to change the personality of Blue and I think Pink as well,
Black.
right?
Black.
Black as well, yeah.
Well, he was more of a truth serum type monster.
Yeah, and that was an interesting take on it. It was not like, haha, potty jokes, like how they did in frickin' Ninja Steel. This was actually taking the concept of, hey,
Don't remind me of that.
we have an everyday thing, like a toilet, but it's not meant to be poop jokes. It's meant to be something a little bit more clever, and I like that about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
I mean,
you can't give the show crap for that and ignore Jetman's noodle cup monster.
Yeah.
Right.
Except that monster didn't feel as in place with the Jetman monster.
Yeah, exactly the problem.
Although, like Patrick said, this would fit in well with Car Ranger, because Car Ranger, and this isn't a spoiler for Riz, because Riz would have seen the Turbo episode where it's used. Car Ranger has an episode where a monster bakes the Rangers into a giant pizza. So
that episode was actually hilarious.
Have I told y'all about the time that I got baked into a pizza? God dang it, TJ, come on, man.
But really weird, but ironically, you were saying that this monster would have been making poop jokes in Power Rangers. In Car Ranger, it probably would have been making fart jokes, but it would have worked.
yeah.
And I mean,
Right.
and that's the thing is, I haven't seen Car Ranger,
We're gonna fix that one of these days, I promise.
but I've talked to enough people across the Sentai fandom, not just you guys, but like other people on Reddit, people in Discord, and everyone tells me the same thing: that Car Ranger's an intelligent parody.
Oh, very.
Now I don't know
very.
how much yeah. You know, I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and that's why when I walked into Boonboomger, I had a very open mind because I was look, we did it once already. It's not difficult to imagine them doing it again. They already got the formula down packed, like 20 years ago.
Like Car Ranger is for Super Sentai what Spaceballs is for Star Wars and Star Trek, basically.
Hey,
Pretty much.
Hey Nathan, off topic, but do you want to podcast that one day?
Oh yeah, we should totally take a look at Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
I need to look at that movie again because I have not seen a movie in years.
Suck.
If you're a fan of Star Wars, check out Jedi Squadron podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and everywhere else you find your podcast.
Shameless plug.
But
I'm
anyway.
shamelessly plugging my other show in the show that I also helped to host. It's not shameless plugging, it's synergy.
Self-promotion.
Synergy.
Anyway, I'm Anthony, did you want to add anything about this episode?
Other than the fact that I just was dying laughing the whole episode from start to finish, especially with Ishu stuff. One thing I do like is that like they're introducing another like kind of like a leader type of character, and with Matt Rex. He's a very interesting character, and I like that he has this little rivalry with Red. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But I'm giving this one a 9. What about you guys?
9.
Yeah.
Might as well.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on to Bakuage 7. Procurers. Sorry, my tongue got tied. Break.
Procurer.
Yeah. So part of this episode revolves around Mira and Joe trying to help Boom Boom meet his true love. But the bigger plot of this episode is that Gimba gets offered his own Boom Boom change axe. Taya wants him to join the team, but he refuses. But then later on in the episode, when the Boonboomgers are cornered by Mad Rex and his latest monster, Gimba sees how much the Boonboomgers have evolved, and he starts to feel kind of intrigued by them. So he joins the Boonboomgers. He becomes Boon Orange. He gets his own construction vehicle themed auxiliary mechs, the Boon Boon Shovel and the Boon Boon Dozer, which can combine with Boonboomger Robo to become Boonboomger Robo Builder, where it gets like a big hammer weapon, and he gets welcomed to the team in the base as the episode ends. What do we think about this one, guys? Just got another new Ranger, so what do we think about this one?
I kind of want to jump off of a point I was talking about in the last episode with Ishiro here with Genba, how they set these characters up for you to anticipate that they're going to be a certain character archetype, and then they do something different with them. Because I thought Genba was going to be one of those, like, cold, dismissive, kind of doesn't want to be a part of the team type of characters. But no, he's a very proud of his work, soft-spoken kind of guy. And I like the feel of this character. And when he fights, he's very smooth and cocky almost, which is, like, I don't know, there's just something visually cool about how he fights.
There's something visually cool about how he just presents himself in
Yeah, exactly. He's a very odd character to see in action, but I like it.
Like, okay, so
I like him too.
Honestly, Patrick, I get the same vibe from Taya. I don't know if you do, but Taya, when he's on screen, he just carries himself differently than other characters you've seen in other Sentai, I think.
Yeah.
And so I think these two characters are just very uniquely written in that way.
Yeah, because I always think...
actors are...
Oh, yeah. But, like, you see him on screen, you see people, like, talk about their hobbies and stuff, and you'd think he would be, like rolling his eyes and just kind of ignoring it, but he kind of gets into it. And at the end, when, what was it, Mira brings that plushie to Boom Boom, he gets, like, super excited about it. Like, he's into that stuff. Kind of like the idol culture stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising. Like, he's just an interesting character.
Yeah, definitely. Like, he's just a fun guy. I like seeing him go through that transition from being a procurer to being part of the team. And I just like that Taya can pull these hints and devices out of nowhere at the right moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, it's a different Henson device.
I think my issue with the morpher is that, like, it combines into the axe, and I'm just like, does it really even need to be combined with it for it to function? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. But I will say, we're talking about, like, how the suits differ ever so slightly. But in the case of Zoe, the police theme fits thematically very well.
Yeah.
Genba, I don't get the builder thing.
Like, emergency lights on construction vehicles? I don't know.
Like, he's not a construction worker. He's a procurer. So, I mean, it might have made more sense to have,
yeah, but, like, the kind of the theme of his suit is more construction equipment, and you could say it's like a caution light. I don't know, I'm probably making a reach there.
Well, the only way I can see it is he's a construction worker that builds up the inventory of the team because he's the procurer, but I feel like that's a reach.
Yeah.
So, I feel like they did really good thematically with designing Joe and the suit, but I wish they had done something similar with
no. Actually, hold on. I might be right about this. If you can pull up a picture of his suit, his shoulder pad does kind of have the caution stripe tape design on the front of it.
Yeah, it does.
So that might be what it is. It's a caution light instead of a police siren like for Black.
But this gimmick, I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit, although even then this is kind of a bad example, to kind of draw the Boonboomger comparisons again. Like, everyone's engine, at least with the main five, was kind of representative of, like, what they used to be, without giving much spoilers. Like Goon Black's mech is police themed because he was a cop before he became Goon Black. It's not as good with Goon Green because he's he was a pizza guy. Sorry for that spoiler, but he was a pizza guy before he became Gohan Green. Now they kind of try to make a little bit of a justification for it by having like when Burka combines with the with Ingeno to like form that auxiliary arm. They're kind of saying that it's like a cutter, so like a pizza cutter, but it's
Yeah.
still kind of flimsy.
Ha
So
ha 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 ha.
I mean, I think it worked because Brick Hero was still a two-wheeled vehicle. So, like a bike,
yeah.
I guess. That's kind of the excuse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like with the other ones, like Sosuke used to be a race car driver, and Speedor is a race car.
Yeah.
You know, Ren used to be a bus driver. Busan is a bus. I
Yeah.
can't remember what Saki was, but it probably worked anyway because Saki's a cool character. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, ignore, you know, besides the fact that, you know, the construction vehicle theme doesn't work as well with, you know, Joe's cop theme. I still think that, you know, Gimba was still a fun character here because I kind of agree with Patrick. I got the feeling that he was going to be kind of one of those, like, I don't care and I'm just here to do this for myself type of person, but he's not. He's another one of these characters. Like, this Sentai has two Rangers that are very unique in their personalities that I haven't seen before. And keep in mind, that's saying a lot because I've seen everything up to Zyuohger now, which I forgot to mention. I finished watching Ninja and Zyuohger in between podcasts.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, Gimba and Taya, just both very unique characters. And yeah, Gimba's pretty awesome. In fact, this might not be saying much, but he might be my favorite Orange Ranger character. Now, again, I mean, Akira was kind of cool. I haven't seen enough of Sasori Orange from Q Ranger to get a vibe on him, but
Sasori is pretty cool, to be honest. Like, I've seen
Yeah, he is.
20 or 25 episodes of it, and it was pretty fun to watch him, honestly. I liked him. He had some good dynamics with the team in that antagonistic kind of way, don't you agree, Anthony?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know people like to call.
You have to watch for yourself in order to understand what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. But I think Nathan's on that season right now.
Yeah, I am. I've only
Yeah.
watched the first episode, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know people like to count the Birdman as an Orange Ranger in Zyuohger, but his suit looks more like a pale red instead of orange, so I don't know if I want to count him as that. Either way, he's not that great of a character, but yeah, I mean, Gimba's a pretty cool Orange Ranger. He's and again, I mean, it just works because, you know, he appeared in the first episode and they've taken the time to really establish him as a character. So I don't know. He might be my favorite of this bunch, in all honesty.
Now, see, Nate, what I'm kind of curious about with you and I is when we get around to doing our Tokusatsu rewatch in the future, I'm interested to see how our opinion has changed of Akira, given our very interesting conversation with the Zenith guys.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting podcast.
Because I don't know if we told you guys, Anthony, but when we were talking to the Zenith guys about Rail Riders, we were kind of remembering some of the parts of Tokusatsu, and we're like, you know, this isn't as bad as we made it out to be for all these years, looking back at it and really just talking about it. Maybe we were just kind of harsh on this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it was for me, y'all, is the fact that I didn't like half the team. The series was fine. The villains were pretty good. I just didn't like some of the characters.
Yeah, and that's fair because I still think I'm not gonna like certain characters from that season, but I'm curious to see how it is 10 years later for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give. I know that we're kind of. It's becoming a cliche, but I'm giving episode 7 another 9.
Yeah.
9. Go.
I
guess we all get it 9s, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, now let's move on to Bakuage 8, which is the beginning of a 2-parter.
A very fun 2-parter. Let's go.
This one is called Runaway and Divide, where at the beginning of this episode, it's revealed to Ishiro already knew this, so it's mostly just Joe and Mira learning this, but it's revealed to them, as well as the audience, that Taya and Boom Boom created the Boonboomger cars because it's part of their dream to participate in the BBG. BBG is short for a Big Bang Grand Prix, which is a type of a universe, which is basically like an intergalactic race. And June and Mira get really conflicted by this because they thought that they created it, mostly to help defend the world and be heroes and all that. So they're starting to doubt Taya. And in the middle of all this tension, they get into a fight directly with Mad Rex, and Mad Rex overpowers them. Taya gets injured really badly in the middle of the fight, and Mira and June are all like, "Why are you risking your life for and acting recklessly? Like, why are you doing all this?" Like, they basically have no idea what Taya is really doing in the grand scheme of things. And before Taya can answer, he falls unconscious. So we end on that cliffhanger. So what do we think about Bakuage 8, guys?
So I know we were talking earlier about like how I think it was episode 5 when Joe got debut as the Ranger, that this writing is fantastic, but these guys had no right to go that hard. Like, this was top tier peak writing for this season where they were really pulling at those feelings quite a bit and really playing with the emotions and really creating the sense of, tension between the team, because rightfully so, Joe and Mira have no idea what's going on. And, I kind of knew ahead of time that there was a reason that they had these equipment prior to the arrival of the big bad of the season. And I just didn't know what it was. I kind of figured it'd be some kind of like racing thing, given it's a car Sentai, but
yeah,
it's still very interesting how they took that simple idea of a racing thing and really pulled the strings that everyone, audience included, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe y'all didn't like it, but I thought this is fantastic
I
writing.
liked it.
Yeah, the way that Joe and Mira react with like that big revelation, like, that's incredibly deep stuff. And I don't know if Super Sentai has really done it before, but it hit me on a very personal level because when you think about their point of view, like, they both met Taya, and there was something about Taya, because these are two people. They're not like Ishiro, where they were Boonboomgers before. Like, these are people that we directly saw. They got captivated by Taya. There was something about Taya that really resonated with them that they weren't really able to explain, but they felt a bond forming, and that's why they became Boonboomgers. And then they hear the truth about why he created the Boonboomgers, and they get the feeling maybe this guy isn't who they thought he was. Like, to see them just like be completely just struck with to just be like completely struck, like, oh my god, like, it's just like a complete, like, just being hit by like a train. And I can personally relate to that, just having like resonating with someone that you really look up to, and then realize maybe that person isn't who you think they are. It's just really deep stuff, and no business being in a Super Sentai like this, but it works, surprisingly enough.
You want to know something crazy though, guys? Even before knowing what was we're gonna find out about Taya, I still had faith in him. Believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy because like I understand how Joe and Mira felt, but at the same time, I'm just thinking like there's got to be more to this. There's no way he's just gonna sit there and like you know I I understand how they feel, but also understand that Taya doesn't do things all willy nilly without any active reason, which is why I was actually even agreeing with him on not letting Joe join the Boonboomgers because of that. If there had been any other redheads had done or said the things that they said, and with like how they presented themselves, I would have been totally on their side. But because it's him, I don't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was never doubting Taya either. It was just I just wanted the full story.
Yeah, I wanted to know what was his
Yeah,
game,
like
but I didn't doubt him. I knew he had some good reason behind everything he was doing.
it's just so interesting because like he's the type of red you can trust him easily. I know people will look at some other people like, oh, I don't trust this person. I don't trust. I look at him and I can trust him. I just don't know what it is. Like he just seems trustworthy to me. I want to know more about him. I want to know more about him honestly because I feel like he's still hiding something, but he's not hiding anything bad. I just want to know what's like more about his backstory besides just what this episode entailed or next episode.
We're gonna have a lot of story stuff coming in the future, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think Taya
Yeah,
is.
and you know what's also you know also what's very interesting though is that they intentionally took him out of the fight, the toilet fight with the fight Mad Rex, just so that he won't get affected by the toilet monster.
Oh, I didn't think about that, but that makes so much sense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't think Taya's gonna have like a big twist with his backstory the way like Takeru did in Shinkenger. But
No,
I
I
mean,
don't think so. No,
He doesn't need it.
yeah,
no.
I mean, he at this point, they've written a character that's compelling enough to keep us interested, and all they got to do is bless him out throughout the course of the season with a little bit here and there, and I think we got a good ride.
Yeah.
yeah. But I definitely want to give 8 another 9. Okay, we sound like a broken record here, but all these episodes are just awesome. That's why I can't help but just give it a 9 out of 10.
I'm breaking the mold, Nathan.
All right.
Okay.
9.5.
Okay. Cool.
Daring.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 too.
And Anthony.
I'm gonna give it a 9 as well.
Cool.
Well,
All right.
fine. I see how it is.
Hugh.
Okay. Let's move on to Bakuage 9, Deliverer's Handles. This being a follow-up to the previous episode. When we find out, all the truth about, thanks to them finding out the truth about the Boonboomgers and why it was created, Shirabe threatens to disband the Boonboomgers. We figure out in a flashback that Boon was a BBG racer, but then there was an accident and his license got revoked. And he became depressed and roamed space until he crashed to Earth. And it was there that he met Taya. And after repairing Boon Boon, Taya vowed to deliver Boon Boon's dream of racing in the BBG again. He would race while he was the mechanic. So while Boon Boon was the mechanic, so that he could still achieve his dream. And Taya seeks to help Boon Boon. That's part of the reason why he's fighting as a Boonboomger, to help while trying to help Boon Boon achieve his dream of racing in the BBG. And that allows Mira and June to pretty much figure out Taya's true motivations, and their dream is to fight as Boonboomgers alongside Taya, which allows the team to come together. They come together to fight Mad Rex. They are able to use this new auxiliary mech called the Boon Boon Racing Car. They combine to form Boonboomger Robo Knight, which do you really have to call it Robo Knight? Anybody who's a Power Rangers fan knows exactly why that should probably bother some of us. Although he was an okay character.
There was a post on Reddit about that actually, where they posted a photo of Robo Knight from Boonboomger along with Gosei Knight from Goseizer, and they said, "What is the commonality here?" And I'm like, "Haha, Robo Knight."
Yeah. But they successfully destroyed Mad Rex, and everyone celebrates with another curry party while Shirabe decides that she's no longer going to disband the Boonboomgers. So what do we think about this one, guys? To wrap up the two-parter.
Honestly, Bun Bun's backstory is very depressing. And man, that really pulled the chords as well a little bit. Like it was emotional for seeing Boon Boon's reaction. Taya's vow was also really cool, especially when you realize later on that Taya's entire motif is delivering dreams. And it makes sense if you look back at like episode 1, where he's literally delivering Mira to her husband to fulfill a dream. It just so happens that Mira had other plans that were not marrying this guy because she wants to be in the driver's seat now.
Yeah.
But still, the point stands. This guy has been from episode 1 delivering dreams, but we didn't know it until now.
It all makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like we're gonna have to get a little bit more of Taya's backstory as the series goes on, but and maybe this will end up not being true. I mean, we can only speculate since we only have so much information, but I get the feeling that, the fact that like Taya became friends with Boom Boom so quickly, I get the idea that like perhaps maybe Taya, kind of grew up lonely. Like maybe he didn't have that many friends, or I mean, they established that he came from a rich family, so maybe he had something going on where like people just kind of viewed him as like a spoiled rich kid, like Tatsuya from a Time Ranger, and that's why he became such good friends with Boom Boom and wants to help him deliver his dream. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of intriguing stuff about Taya. Like he came off as if he didn't have much energy to live, but then he became friends with Boom Boom, and now he's determined. And helping Boom Boom achieve his dream is what gives him a reason to live. Like that's what I got possibly. I obviously I don't know, and we can only speculate on what Taya's backstory is, but I mean that's one possible thing. And I mean it would be simple stuff, but it's still great because I mean Taya is just a likable character. But that was something that I got from it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I do like the part in this episode where they, after they hear this whole story, they all go to him and just reaffirm their commitment to helping him out. Like, it was a simple but strong scene before they, fight off Mad Rex.
Yeah. Speaking of
Yeah,
which,
it's pretty awesome.
I don't like how they're destroying Mad Rex so quickly, but the villains aren't really meant to be that big of a focus, so I'm not going to make a huge big deal out of that. I just kind of wish that they kind of let Mad Rex live a little bit more, so that we could have some rivalry between him and Taya. But it's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't know if they could have kept.
I feel the same way.
I don't think they could have kept him going though.
You remember how last season we were complaining about King Odra moving so fast, and in the end we understood? Just
yeah.
Give the show time to breathe.
Don't tell me what to do, Patrick. But no, I mean I agree with you. Obviously, that we have to give it more time. But honestly, the way they wrote Mad Rex, I didn't see him lasting the whole season. Because they had a really big fight in episode 9 where he almost lost. Like there was no like power inequality where Mad Rex was just like super OP and they couldn't beat him without a power up or something. Like no, they were head to head like the entire time. And if you add in the other 4 to help Taya, I mean, okay, yeah, they're gonna win. Because Taya on his own was enough to almost beat him.
Yeah.
I also think he was meant to be
something-
just. I think he was meant to also just be a taste of what's to come.
Yeah, like maybe there's a Mad Rex.
But
I'm
this
going
is
with a 9.
Not a Mad Rex. Not a Mad Rex.
what were you going to say, Riz?
I'm going with a 9.
Yeah, 9 for me too.
Yeah, ditto.
Have we gone below a 9?
I'm at 9 as well.
I don't think
we have not.
No.
But next up we get episode, Bakuage 10, An Exciting Mission. This is probably the most filler episode that we've gotten thus far, which is just about Gemba being given an assignment to deliver a a case that supposedly has this explosive energy in it. Like he's sent to deliver it, for the ISA, and Mira accompanies him, kind of learning about how, Gemba, Gemba's backstory and everything. That's pretty much everything else. Taya, Joe, and Ishiro only appear like here and there, so it's mostly just a filler episode. But yeah, nothing really of substance happens in it. So what do we think about this one?
No, screw you. This episode was hilarious.
It was really funny.
Yeah, exactly. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
this episode was great.
I was laughing my ass off the entire time because poor Mira, man, she had no idea. Right? And
she went through all the emotions.
like she literally,
you know what?
She literally was like, "Wait, you guys were not gonna tell me, and I was gonna be a decoy again." And she was feeling really bad about it until Genba, with his suaveness, was like, "Mira, you did something really awesome today to help us. I couldn't have done it without you," and reaffirmed her. And I think that perked her up enough to make this not matter, and it was so great.
Yeah, so that's not the kind of thing
exactly.
you expected from Genba.
Because
and he reassured her, like, that was, I don't know, there's the character, the dynamic between those two was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This episode kind of reminded me of that Likely Rescue episode where Dana was unwillingly knowing that she was on a mission to help her dad's friend get to the Aqua base or whatever, without telling her, hey, by the way, you have the MacGuffin that if it gets in the wrong hands, it could destroy everything, type of thing.
Yeah, but this one was still really good just because it kind of took a more comedic twist to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't say it was similar to it because of the whole explosion thing. If it's getting in the wrong hands, it could destroy everything. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I found this to be a funny episode. The only reason I said nothing of substance have it was just because of the plot. But it's still, I mean, the average filler episode in this season is clearly going to be a funny one. So, I mean, I was definitely entertained with it just as much as you guys. Like, I love this one thing where, they show, where they say that the other Boonboomgers are on a dangerous mission or something. And then it shows, Joe, straining. And then a little bit later it shows, oh, he's just cleaning the floors with a mop. But he's doing it in this way that, Joe does it with, so much, energy, thing. That was just hilarious.
Yeah.
I'd probably get. I don't want to give this one a 9 just because it's not as deep as some of the other ones, but it was still entertaining. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, I was gonna go 8.5.
I'm still gonna give it a 9.
Nah, screw that. I'm giving a 9.
Yeah, the comedy in this episode was just too good. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's fair.
No, I definitely agree with y'all on that, but also, I just 8.5.
Yeah. Okay, well that wraps up the episode.
Because I don't differentiate whether it's filler or not. I don't differentiate if it's filler or not. If it's a good episode, I'm going to give it a good.
Exactly. And honestly, this episode did a lot to give us more character development on Genba and a little bit of character development from Mira, which she didn't really need, but I'll take it, man, because she's an amazing pink.
Yeah. She's knocking out the park as of late.
See what?
She's been knocking it out the park as of late.
Yeah, boy, she's been knocking out the park since episode 1.
That's what I'm saying.
But that wraps up this one with the episodes. We don't really have to talk about the villains. I mean, I was thinking we could talk about Mad Rex, but he's no longer in the series anymore, so we don't really have to mention him. Just want to ask you guys this: do we want to do like updated rankings where we would rank these rangers, or would we rather do what we're doing in Gingaman where we just give them the tiers?
Tiers.
Okay.
But also,
Tears definitely works here.
question about Genba. Do you just want to compare him to other oranges, or what are we going to do with that guy?
I don't know. That's kind of complicated. I'm not sure.
We can put them
Yeah.
alongside other black and green rangers, maybe.
I think that's best. Or
Okay.
yellow.
Yeah.
Well, let's just
I don't know.
go with yellow, since I feel like he would be in the Yellow Ranger category. Like, again, if we're going by like the Gokaiger logic.
Yeah.
But who wants to go
Yeah.
first?
Let me see. I guess I would put Taya as a high A, low S. I'm not sure yet. I think Ishiro, he's probably, probably maybe my least favorite at this point, but he's still a great character. He's an A. Mira's an S. That's non-negotiable. And I think Joe and Genba are also.
Facts.
This has just been a good cast so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you put Zoe and Genba?
I put them in S also.
Okay. Yeah, so I kind of feel Taya's more S than he is A. But I do agree he's like a low S, but he's definitely not in the A tier. He's not bordering into the A tier. But
Yeah.
Mira's high S tier. Like, that's non-negotiable, like Pat said. Isaru's an A for me. Zoe is probably going to end up being an S tier for me as well, and so will Genba. But I could see Zoe kind of going between A and S throughout the season, depending. But Genba, my man, that's a S
Yeah.
tier character right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that's my ranking right now.
And Anthony?
So almost everybody's gonna be like S basically, except for Ishiru. He still needs to work on wants me a little bit more. So he's gonna be either A or B. But everybody else is S tier, honestly. They all earned it.
I mean, yeah. And honestly, it's not like Isuru didn't earn it yet. We just need more episodes with him. Hang on, let me see. Did we post?
Yeah.
No, we didn't post it yet. But spoilers for next week when we post our next Gingaman. Goki stocks rise quite a bit more than he did in the first 10 episodes that we talked about him in. So, I think Isuru could rise in the next couple of episodes. It's still very early on to be like solidifying him in like the A-B category. So I'm gonna see what he does, man. He could do something fun and surprise us all.
Yeah, totally.
That's true.
For me, Taya is a high A tier. I don't want to quite put him in S tier yet with the company of Marvelous, Takeru, and Ryoma. Not in that order. Those are just. I would probably be Takeru, Marvelous, and then Ryoma. Taya might find a way to make it up there, but not yet. I still got to see more of them. Ishiro is B for me. I don't know. I've just seen a lot of really good Blue Rangers. Like, there's a lot of S tier Blues for me. I don't think Ishiro deserves to be as high as an A yet, and he could get better. But he's definitely not quite on the level of ISA or even Yanma from last year. Yanma was just an amazing character. Mira is S. I mean, she's just a great character. Gives off great vibes. She's. I don't know if she'll be the best pink ever. Although, because I'm starting to think that ever since we started Gingaman again, I've been starting to feel like Saya is the best. But she could be as good as Saya. Joe is part of me. I kind of want to put Joe as S tier. There's not the only other S tier for Black that I know right now is, and everybody knows who I'm going to say, Guy from Jetman. Obviously, Joe is not on Guy's level, and nobody will ever be on Guy's level. But I mean, he could still deserve to be in the S tier, just because he's a simple but fun character. And Gimba is S for me too. He's not the type of character that I expected him to be, and that's really great. He's a very unique character. Definitely looking forward to seeing more for him. And yeah, that wraps up my tiers. So anybody want to give their closing thoughts for Boonboomger before we wrap up here?
I'm just looking forward to episode 12 because Go On Red's coming back and I'm happy.
Same. I'm just waiting. I'm ready for the boom. More boom.
Yeah.
Coming Boon.
Already boon.
Did you want to say anything else, Riz?
All
right.
Simple.
Well, that wraps up this. So we thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen. When we take a look at Boonboomger again, obviously we'll start with Bakuage 11. We're definitely going to do 12 because that's when our man Sosuke Go On Red is going to come in. And I don't know if Riz has told Patrick or Anthony this, but Riz is going to try to binge Go Onger all the way through just so he can get an idea of what Sosuke is like, and then he's going to have to watch it all over again when we do Go Onger after we finish.
Say, why would you do that? Wasn't that what we were going to do next?
Yeah.
Look, man, don't question the Riz. The Riz got a plan. It's all gonna work out. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
Yeah. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Sosuke come back. I personally am. Just sucks that I can't make it to Miami because Sosuke's actor is going to be in Miami for a FloridaCon this year. But hey, I mean, one of these days I could meet him because his actor seems to be pretty active in the Super Sentai fan community. So hopefully I'll get to meet him someday. Hopefully all of us can meet him someday. But with that said, so we'll cover a number of episodes of Boonboomger again in another batch. Maybe we'll go up to 15 or 20 or 20 or 25 or something, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. With that said, next time we're going to return to reviewing Gingaman, and we hope you guys will check us out for that. And we will see you guys next time for our journey through the world of tokusatsu. But until then, bye for now. If you enjoyed listening to the Toku Secrets podcast, please check us out at animesecrets.org and follow us on all our social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also feel free to check out our other podcasts, including Anime Declassified and the Jedi Squadron. You can also leave us any feedback you'd like to offer us directly on our website. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much, and please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments down below, as we love to take the time to read comments left on our channel and give our fans, shout-outs. If you have any seasons of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or other tokusatsu shows that you'd like for us to check out, please don't hesitate to say so in your feedback. With all that said, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time as we continue our never-ending journey through the world of tokusatsu. But until that time, you all stay safe, we love you, and may the power protect you.